All right. Benchmade 928 Proxy. Take a quick look at it. It's a beautiful knife, I must say. Brand new a couple weeks ago. I've been carrying it for a couple weeks. And then this last week, I'm on a fire assignment now. So I've been carrying it at work. So let's go through the dimensions. So it's the Benchmade 928 Proxy Osborne design. Let's see here. I think it was his last model he made. It's been discontinued. I believe it was available 2016, 2017, somewhere in there. And then here a few years ago, it was discontinued. But it is a beautiful knife. I've always wanted to pick one up, and now I have two. So I actually got one a year ago, but I never did. I couldn't bring myself to carry it, so I had to get another one. And luckily, I was able to track one down. So let's go through the dimensions. Blade length of 3.87 inches, closed length of 5.09 inches, an overall length of 8.85. Blade steel is CPM 20 CV, a great blade steel. Very stainless. Good, wear resistant steel. It's got a blade hardness of 59 to 61. Blade thickness of 0.137 inches. And the tip is also pretty robust. Handle thickness of a 1/2 inch. And a weight of 4.86 ounces. So fairly heavy, not bad. Especially you throw some metal in there like that. So you got a titanium lock side with steel insert, adjustable. And it is also on caged bearings. And the finish is bead blast over stonewash and satin finish. So I don't know if I'll be able to get that to come through very good, but how Benchmade does those flats is I think it's that satin finish or brushed, I guess. And then stonewashed on the primary bevel, and then they bead blast it over the top. So it's nice, and I got some sun here. I don't know if I'll be able to. Yeah, it's pretty non-reflective though. It's very beautiful. Very nicely done. So yeah. So anyway, good, decent centering. It does favor the lock side. It is adjustable. I haven't even bothered adjusting it. It's not that big of a deal. It does not rub, and it's not that far off. And it's got that adjustable insert, steel insert for the lockup, which gives you that warm, fuzzy feeling. You shouldn't ever develop blade play. And you can see where the lockup is here. And then stop lugs, which stop on the titanium and G10 side. That's kind of cause for concern because I imagine both are wearable surfaces. But being that it's adjustable, I don't think that is ever going to win the race. I think you'll always be able to adjust that out. Yep, so I got this one, got a good deal. Came with no box, but it was going to be a user knife anyway. That was my intention. So that's where we're at with that. Yesterday, I was able to use this extensively carving, doing some whittling, and did pretty good. The blade's not bad. It's reminiscent to me of the Microtech SOCOM Elites. I have the automatic version, but also the manual, because you have a good blade stock. Those Microtechs are a little thicker, but they are also good cutters. And this one is pretty thick and is also a good cutter. Not great, but pretty darn good for how thick of a blade it is, because these are, meant for hard use, maybe some tactical use, self-defense. I think it's pretty darn good at that. It's kind of got that handle shape, kind of like a Strider, I think. I do have a micro or a ProTech Strider automatic. A little bit more aggressive on that flare as it flares out to the back. The butt of the handle gets a little wider than up here. I think that's really good for most uses, except for when you're actually carving on stuff, or cutting, like high torque cutting. It's awkward to me. Maybe I'll be able to adjust to it. But just comparing it against, like, say, this AFO, which I always use, which I think is just fantastic. The ergos on this are superior. Actually, the cutting geometry on this knife is superior too, as far as like working with wood and whatnot. I did kind of go back and forth, and this one's definitely a better knife as far as that goes. It's got better cutting geometry, better ergos. So, I mean, I love that model. So every other knife kind of has to get, in my mind, kind of, matched up against it. Doesn't mean I don't like this, because I do. I love this knife. I think it's really good all the way around. It just doesn't really, I haven't really found where it really shines. I think you don't have to worry about the tip. It's built for prying and whatnot, kind of hard use, kind of like your everyday knife, in the field, whatnot, at work. And then it's also very nice as well, so it's pretty cool. Great knife. And I think I don't really own a whole lot of flippers, maybe one other. I think I have I still have a, what are those, like a Kershaw, whatever, that zero tolerance knife, and this one's superior to that by far. But ergonomically and whatnot, you're not getting any problems with the back of the handle here. It's just all in how it's flared. So that's just a design, and I think it's good for certain things, not for everything. And then it's a flipper, so you do have this in your way. So as far as like using it, you're carving on a stick or something, whatnot, making a spear, doing that kind of thing, any kind of woodwork, it is kind of awkward. But like in that reverse grip, kind of how this thing is, I think it is designed for a little bit of tactical use. That's the idea. Then you got that flipper, hold your hand in there so it doesn't slide up on the blade. No complaints there. So great all around knife. G10's pretty sweet looking too, very comfortable. And it is an Osborne design, so it does kind of look to me kind of like those 940s, which is a very famous Benchmade design. I don't actually own one. I have picked them up before. Those knives, to me, I would really like to get one. I will at some point, but they just don't really, they're not as big as like these, not as good a cutter as these. And then, so this one's kind of like a 940 that's a little bit bigger, and that it's a frame lock. A little bit, I think, of a different handle shape, kind of the same handle design. So ergonomically, generally, it's pretty good. It's pretty comfortable. Get good grip on it, except for on these, you do get that flare, like I've said a couple times already in the video. And the 940 is just small, so it's kind of a small, not a good cutter, and so it hasn't really matched up for me. But this one is definitely right in my wheelhouse. It's a nice big 4-inch blade, so works for me. We can kind of take a look at that blade stock thickness as well. That AFO there on the left is 125 thousandths, about a quarter or eighth of an inch, and then 137 thousandths for the Proxy, so you can kind of see the difference there. But like I said, it is well ground. And I'm not sure what the edge is on it. I usually put a 15 on, so at some point whenever I need to sharpen it, that's what I will do. And we'll see how it goes from there. But even like right now, it does slice pretty good. It's just it's a little thick, a little wedgy. So I don't know about for like food prep and whatnot. Maybe not the best, but not bad. So anyway, that's all I got. I hope you all have a good one. Thanks for watching.